Congratulations, your application was approved for Boca Ciega, and now we are going to cover the move-in packet. My name is Katrina Weekly. It's Boca Ciega Partners, TCLP. Anytime you need to make a payment, make it payable to Boca Ciega Partners. Drop all payments into the mail slot at the management office located in St. Petersburg, Florida. So let's go ahead and get started with your move-in checklist. All documents listed are things that we'll cover during this period. This little short video is just to help you move along with the paperwork so that when you look at the video before coming in, it'll be an expedited process. You will have read everything, and then once you come in, you'll be familiar with it and be able to sign off on all your documents. The next in the packet is your suggestions for conserving utility. Your cleaning policy is within the packet. Grievance procedures for Boca Ciega residents. Tenant information sheet where we'll need an emergency contact. Have you disposed of any assets below the fair market value in the past 2 years? All family members sign and deed. Are you a full-time student? Yes or no? Answer the questions. All family members 18 and over, sign and date. Violence Against Women Act, file reform, information on domestic violence. All family members 18 and over. House rules, kind of mirror the lease a little bit, but you'll read the initial on each page and sign and date your house rules. Talks about the policies here at Boca Ciega. Radon gas warning is within your packet. You will initial C&D that I'm sharing this information and then sign and date as the leasee. Smoke detector form is within your packet. You're responsible for your smoke detectors. Make sure they're not chirping. If they're chirping, it means it needs a battery. Change the battery. 9-volt battery, not a dollar store battery. If we conduct an inspection and your smoke detector is chirping, it's an automatic fail on your inspection. So let's stay safe and change those batteries. Personal property insurance. We always recommend you get renter's insurance. Should there be a fire or flood, we are not responsible for personal items. Resident rights and responsibilities. There's a pamphlet that you'll receive, your rights and responsibilities. EIV. Read through it, report on income timely. You'll sign. Talks about penalties for committing fraud, as does your fact sheet, what your resident responsibilities are as a HUD renter. And then we'll come across your HUD form. Looks like this. That's the first page. 3 pages in that packet. Tells you what your rent is, and it tells you what HUD's portion will pay on your behalf. So say, for example, our rents are $2,000 a month for our 3 bedrooms. We calculate your rent, 30% of your adjusted income. You may pay $400. HUD pays the remaining $1,600 up to that $2,000 rental. The second page is the family members that are listed on the lease. The third page is your initial notice for recertification. Every year, the same time, you'll be responsible to submit current income and asset information in order to renew your lease. This is your initial notice. You'll get 3 additional reminder notices to ensure that you adhere to your lease agreement with recertification. All recertifications has to be completed 45 days before the effective date. So if you move in November, it has to be completed by September 10th. If you move in December, it has to be completed by October 10th, 45 days before your effective date every year to be in compliance. Next form is your Florida Housing Finance Agency TIC, tenant income certification, and it just lists your income for the unit. Your next form is your inspection sheet. Before watching this video, you would have went to look at the unit. You are going to complete the move-in inspection sheet saying everything is good in the unit. Your next form is the pet policy. You are saying that you do not have any pets because Boca Ciega is no pet property. In order to receive a special accommodation for a pet, there's paperwork that needs to be done and approved before getting the pet. So you are certifying that you are not having any pets and that you will follow the process if you need to uh, request one. And then the final document is going to be your lease agreement. It talks about rent being due on the first of the month, late after the fifth. If you have two or more lates in a period of 1 year, that is subject to non-renewal. Again, all payments are dropped off at the management office, certified funds. Amscot have the best money orders. American Express typically purchase at Walmart or Publix. They typically do not scan. Amscot has the best set scan with no issues. Talks about late payments, condition of the unit that you're receiving it, utility charges, and services. You would have contacted Duke Energy at this point to have a service turned into your name because everyone receiving an allowance as a deduction from your rent, you can never have your utility shut off for non-payment. Security deposit on file will be listed in your lease. It goes into an interest-bearing account. You give us 30-day notice. Leave the unit in the same condition that you received it, and then you'll receive your deposit back. If you change the locks on the door, you have to provide a key so that when we're doing an inspection or pest control, we'll be able to access the unit. 3 talks about maintenance and tenant responsibilities, general restrictions and rules on page 4. We already talked about the recertification process, so we won't cover that again. On page 5, it talks about the removal of the subsidy. If at any point you're not in compliance with your lease agreement and you receive a termination notice, not only will your unit and your housing be terminated, but your subsidy will be terminated. So that $2,000 that would have been paid by HUD, if it's terminated, will not be paid by HUD. So you want to make sure that we are in compliance with our lease agreement at all times. 20 on page 6 talks about access by the landlord. We always give you 24-hour notice before we come and do an inspection or investors come and want to walk the units. We'll give you a 24-hour notice. We're really strict with housekeeping, so make sure you're taking care of the unit at all times, keeping the unit clean. Make sure you don't have any pets, and inspection ready at all times. Next section that we already talked about was termination of tenancy. And then jumping to page 7, we're on hazards. Make sure you're not storing any battery operated bikes or electronics inside of the unit. 3 bedrooms have an outside storage area where your front door key will fit the same lock. Keep things locked up, but don't store it inside of the unit. Page 8 is where everyone signs 18 and over. Again, that's a quick video to prepare you for what you're about to sign when you come in for your lease signing. Welcome to Boca Ciega. We hope that you make this a great place to call